Hello.
Hi, Julia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Great to have the opportunity to talk to you. How are things going?
Good. I actually am in Scotland.
Nice.
So yeah, just I'm not too jet lagged, but just
Working
just
on a new
keeping up.
project, or is this for fun?
I'm actually here at Fringe Fest,
Right.
which is
Okay. Yeah.
kind of like, a music, theater, comedy
Yep.
festival. Yeah.
Good. Well, enjoy yourself, Julia, because you work
Thank
hard. Do you miss us here in Toronto?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, like we had so much fun in Toronto. I didn't know that you were in Toronto.
Yes, I am. So we got lots to talk about. Okay, first of all, I couldn't love this movie anymore. It is so much fun. But I think I want to start off by saying, and I was going to go here later, but why I think I loved it so much. I'm Jewish, so I'm a mom who did two bar mitzvahs. We'll go there in a second. But B, because it's the Sandler family, you just feel the love,
Hmm.
especially between Adam and Sunny. You cannot fake their chemistry in this movie, but all of them. And I wanted to know from you. I mean, obviously, you had to have felt that off screen too from this wonderful family.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was really fun too to like have them participate in creating the sets. And, I totally agree that you can absolutely feel the love between them. And I felt the love for their spaces. Like I felt like when they would come into the room, when they would be doing rehearsals and things like that, that like their energy towards even just like being in the spaces was like really palpable.
Yeah.
um, and we asked Sunny in advance and Sadie too, like what kind of things like would they have in their rooms. And it was really fun on this one rehearsal day. I was still dressing the bedroom set, and
Yeah.
Sunny and Sadie were in there with me, and they ended up like figuring out like how to position the posters on the walls, or like putting some stickers up, and like it really made it feel like it was genuine and authentic and it was their own. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I
yeah.
was going to ask you that because you are no stranger to dressing teenage rooms. I mean, Euphoria, hello, like, and what a challenge that had to been because you're dealing with all these different personalities and things, from
Mm-hmm.
Sydney to everybody. And boy, did you ever do a great job depicting,
Oh, thank you
the
so much.
loft. I love that show so much. And then I'm thinking about the girls here, all the bedrooms that you had to, create for this film. And you're dealing with teenagers. Back in the day, what did I have on my wall? Donny Osmond and David Cassidy. You know what I mean? But the kids these days, like, there's just so much going on. Like, it's such a
Mm-hmm.
cluttered world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to know how much input these girls gave, maybe not as their characters, but as themselves, or how that
Yeah, yeah.
melted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that like I really do try to stay like on the up and up with like different pop culture and like what's going on at different
Sure.
age groups, because genuinely it feels like it changes like so rapidly. And then also like at every age, you're going to be gradually into different things. But so I wanted to hear like from Sunny really like who are her favorite artists, and especially when it comes to like music and like who she's inspired by. And so like the music, like the album covers and things like that we put on the walls, like those came from Sunny.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was fun to kind of watch that and how comfortable, obviously she feels in her room and everything too, because that's important. Now we got to talk about the bat mitzvahs because,
Mhm.
oh my God, what people spend on bar and bat mitzvahs these days is absolutely
It's
insane. I mean,
wild. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, come on. So I want to know from you. Well, first of all, did you have a bar mitzvah?
I actually didn't. However, I went to a ton of them when I was growing up. I grew up on the North Shore of Chicago. And so, I mean, which is a very Jewish area. And I was going to them like literally every single weekend. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been to my fair
exactly.
share.
Okay, good. So I want to know, obviously, when you look back, I mean, it was a few years ago, but did you guys have to go to bar and bat mitzvahs here in Toronto, like to get a sense of what the heck was going on? you know, the movie is set in a pretty affluent area, you know what I mean? So it's not just going to the synagogue, doing your thing, and then having a luncheon. I mean, these parties are
Mhm.
insane, right? So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about that and how you dress them.
Yeah, so I actually was connected with a bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah event planner named Heather Glowinski.
Okay.
And she has a company called Rock Paper Events. And essentially, she invited us to go to a lot of her clients' mitzvahs. And so that I got to go and see, like, okay, what is the different scales that these things are going on? And Sammy, our director, came with, Ben, our DP, came with, Perry came with. And so we would try and bop around to these different parties
Yeah.
and like make sure that we were seeing a variety of different mitzvahs, like the different themes, all of it. And so that was where a lot of our inspiration for some of the bigger aspects came from. Just like, you know, some really huge LED walls, like just the style of the graphics that things were happening in. And then of course, Sunny's own bat mitzvah was right before we started shooting,
Right.
probably like a couple months before. And
Yeah.
so a lot of the inspiration for the very last bat mitzvah, it comes from Sunny's.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my God. I can't even imagine what that would have been like to be at Adam Sandler's daughter's bat mitzvah. Okay, that would have been fun. I, I'm wondering too, like, did you have a location in Toronto that you just loved transforming?
You know, what's interesting is there was this one ballroom. It was at a hotel. And when I was first in there, I was a little worried, if I'm being honest, like because it was for the carnival.
Okay.
And which is like the one where you see the fire breathing and stilt walker like right off the bat. And
Yeah.
I was a little concerned about the tones and the colors in the room and how our colors were like so fantastical. And like I was like, okay, like, you know, this is gonna be a big transformation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was absolutely like thrilling for me to see it come together because we had this amazing drapery. We had a mask that actually came from a Cirque du Soleil like circus troupe in Montreal that we had like
Wow.
had shipped in, which was over the stage over DJ Shmuley.
Yeah.
And the color and like the vibe and the lights and the people and just everything came together. And like honestly, the columns and the layers and levels of that room ended up really working for us. So that I think was one of the biggest transformations that I loved seeing.
Yeah, and I know that there was this huge open casting call here. You know, obviously you need to fill
Mm-hmm.
with extras because they're
Mm-hmm.
big bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah parties.
Mm-hmm.
How do you play that? Like when you are doing a set, you know, you're doing a bedroom, it's really just, you know, maybe Sunny and her friends or whatever in there. But when you have to dress for like hundreds and hundreds of people, how do you
Mm-hmm.
think that way? You know what I mean? Like, how does something stand out to you so that we as an audience see that and don't just concentrate on the extras?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that it's about creating these different moments. Of course, like you're going based off of a script. And so you know that there's like certain scenes that are going to be taking place and you want to make sure that like those moments have you know, an environment that creates whatever they need for that scene. But then I'm also trying to like do two things, which is one, kind of think of like the overall picture of what is it going to look like when you're like on a close-up, what is it then going to look like in background, and what is it going to look like as just like a moving kind of image, so that there's always, even if we're like panning across the room, that like the background and the kind of just like the activity in set dressing creates like part of the experience, part of the picture, if that makes any sense. Like
Yeah, no,
sort
it
of
does.
like you're painting as you're moving, and like that is being carried throughout the scene. And then the other thing is it's really to get the actors and extras into acting, you know, because like part of it is that it's seen on screen, but another huge part of it is that you're creating a space for people to do their best work in.
Right.
And that's just another massive part of my job that I don't think that people really think about that often.
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, you know, you got to notice all these little teeny details and things like that. Oh, absolutely. No, I thought you did a fantastic job. Was this particular film maybe one of the most challenging ones that you've done so far in your career, or something else?
It's funny because it was challenging in certain ways, and then it was also just really fun. In other, I think that it was one of the most fun movies that I've done.
I look like it.
Throw all of these parties. I mean, that's what it felt like, was like, we're throwing these parties, and also just the colorful kind of like poppy, playful, really getting to like put it out there for like, who is this like middle school, aged girl and their friends. And, and also I had a lot of fun because, so a lot of the inspiration came from John Hughes movies, like, Ferris Bueller's or 16 Candles. And that's, all of those movies were shot where I grew up. And so it was nice to bring in this element of like myself kind of growing up in that environment and take little pieces. And so it was fun for me for a lot of reasons. Challenging in how much time we had, and the scale of the sets was like, we had to move very quickly. And there was a lot of, a lot of places that we're going to very, very, very fast, to be honest, but also just a lot of fun.
When did you know this was something that you wanted to do for your career? Like when you were a little girl, were you doing Barbies and setting up the house and stuff like that?
It's so funny. I think that looking back, I probably was giving off signs earlier than I thought I was. I have this like one little note that was like, what do I want to be when I grow up, from like first grade or third grade. And it says an interior designer. And I was like, that's so weird, because I don't even remember like thinking that later. But I never thought that I was going to go into film, if I'm being honest. I went to school for architecture, and I did that for a while. And I was living in LA, and so many of my friends were, working in film and TV. And somebody was like, let me just come and like, test it out. And on my very first job, I remember being like, oh, I love this. Like, just like genuinely felt so at home. Architecture and interior design are similar to film, but they're also the energy and the visual storytelling and getting to like really think outside the box. And the people that are involved too, like, are just so, so special. We're all kind of like a group of wacky, weirdo, creative people, but who also like love each other and want to come together and make something amazing. And I don't know, there's just a lot of like support for each other, in my opinion. Like, I find that. And it's just
well, nice. You do a great job. I can't wait to see what's next, but congratulations. Like I said, I love this film, and it was so colorful, and it just had such a warm, loving feeling to it. And it was lots of fun to watch. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Come back to Toronto anytime. We'd love to have you back here.
Yeah, I will be back. I will definitely be back.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time, and have a great time in Scotland.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Okay, Julia, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.